Yo guys, what is up? Today I'm going to be bringing you the match versus Rizipao, also known as the coach of the Phoenix Sunfloras. And yeah, his links to his Twitter, to his YouTube will be down in the description below. So make sure to check him out because he is a really competent opponent. He was the Season 1 champion of the MPL. So it's a champion versus champion match, and also he's currently first in the Division A, being undefeated. So yeah, I need to win this, or I need to, well, I need to win this basically. I cannot lose. I want to have my chances of winning the title this season again, so I need to win to, yeah, make sure that's gonna happen. And the team he brought, as you can see on the team, on the screen, I mean, Charizard X, Jirachi, Avalok, Alamamola, Nidoking, and Scrafty. My team, there is a whole team build dedicated to my team, so yeah, definitely check that out if you're really interested in the preparation, or if or the reasons why I brought my mons, or how I plan to win this game. The team I expected was quite a little bit different than the team that's actually shown on the screen, because I expected him to run Togekiss, which was immediately something I noticed on his team he didn't run, he didn't have, and I also expected him to run Rotom Mo, as that was the best thing on his team to deal with Vaporeon. And luckily for me, he didn't bring Rotom Mo, because Rotom Mo was actually a mon that was kind of well versus my team, I think. So I'm really happy he didn't bring both of those. The Rotom Mo I didn't see immediately, because he did bring different threats to my team. So yeah, but the oh yeah, him not bringing Togekiss basically means that I can spread Toxics around very easily, because he does not have a heal better except for the healing Wisdom Jirachi. So yeah, that's basically the idea behind my strategy as well, whittling down his walls with Toxic and then cleaning up with Aerodactyl or Scolipede mainly. So yeah, I'm gonna lead off with my rocks, because I am really afraid of the Charizard X, and I want to get rocks up as quickly as possible. Also, I expect him to lead with his stealth rockers, being Jirachi or Nidoking, and seeing that Jirachi is, well, I expect him to be a score of Jirachi, and if he is rocks, he can still be a score of Jirachi, but yeah, I could definitely check or basically see scout for the set on Jirachi if he was scored or if he was stealth rocks or not. So yeah. And he would likely not stay in first me, as I have very good switch-ins into Vaporeon, for example. So, but I decided to go for the Earthquake turn 1. Nidoking, if he decided to stay in, which I didn't expect, because it could very well be a lead Mamoswine, so a superpower would not have KO'd me even so. But since I expect him to switch out, I just went for the Earthquake, as I can set up my Stealth Rocks on all of his switch-ins to the Earthquakes anyway. So yeah. And I go for the Stealth Rocks in the next turn, and go for Toxic on the following turn. There is just one bad thing about this matchup, and you won't see that actually, but this was my mindset during the game. I figured that he could basically lower me to the point where he can KO me with Sludge Wave, for example, from the Nidoking, as that does easily over 50% if he's modest, or at least plus special attack nature. But I figured he would potentially just sack his Avalok to my Mamoswine, giving me no stealth rocks, as he would probably have gone for the rapid spin on the turn that he died, and I wouldn't have had rocks on the field, and I would have my Mamoswine be weakened, meaning that he had a decent chance for me to not have rocks on the field actually. So that was what I was thinking in the game, but luckily for me he actually switches out, so that's fantastic, because rocks are now up to stay, because I am not going to give him a potential to get the rocks away from his side of the field, as basically all of my mons outspeed him and can do the damage necessary to kill, except for the life order thing. So yeah, he actually goes for the waterfall on the following turn. He switches into his Alamamola, which is fine by me actually, because Alamamola is not a threat to my team really, except for he can just go for the waterfalls and go for the Toxics to whittle my mons and to do the damage and shit. But I expect him to run Scald, and in one hand that's good for him to run Waterfall, because he now can potentially break my substitutes on the Scolipede. The roll with the Scald was 24.5% max, so it wouldn't have broken the substitute, but with him having Waterfall, it is 23 to 28% roll, so he does have a better chance of killing the substitute from the Scolipede. So yeah. On the other hand, it's kind of bad that he doesn't have Scald because he cannot get burns on me. But yeah, he weakens my Mamoswine to the point where it's only at 2%, so it's gonna be a sack, or it's gonna be want to pressure his team a little bit more if I can bring it in. Unfortunately, he sets up rocks with his Jirachi, so that's annoying. The matchup previously, I had Latias in, and Latias was, like I said in my team builder, there to just cripple this Jirachi. So I went for the Calm Mind first to just make sure I bait in this Jirachi, and go for the T-Wave. I went for the T-Wave on the following turn to make sure that this Jirachi is crippled. As he shows to be a defensive set, probably especially defensive. As he went for the Battle Slam, which is a really annoying set, and I figured the best mod on my team to be paralyzed, if anything wants to be paralyzed, it's gonna be Vaporeon. Which is why I switched it in. So yeah, I really don't know what set he is, like what complete moveset he is, but I'm expecting him to run like Iron Head guaranteed. Maybe he's gonna run Wish, Iron Head, Body Slam, I don't know. But yeah, that's basically what I expected. So I figured that Vaporeon was likely gonna be the mon to be status at least paralyzed. Especially since I didn't want it to be toxic anyway, so yeah, it might have been a good thing for it to be status with the paralysis. But he managed to get rocks up, and unfortunately that means that my Mamoswine is dead on entry. On the following turns he goes for the Scrafty. I expect him to be a subs on the bulk up set, so I went for the Roar, as the bulk up set wouldn't have done any damage to me if he went for an attacking move. As he actually went for the Iron Head, probably expecting me to switch out into Aerodactyl, maybe. As knockoff doesn't do anything to Aerodactyl anyway. Or maybe into the Liepard, expecting the Encore. That could also potentially be a thing. But Vaporeon is in, and I went for the Roar. And because he went for the Iron Head, I expected him to potentially be an Assault Vest variant, as the rolls showed me that he was not max PDF. So yeah, he could also be running speeds to just speed creep mons, but yeah. I was banking on him potentially being the Assault Vest variant, so I played with the knowledge of him being Assault Vest variant, unless he proved me wrong, going for a bulk up or something on the following turns somewhere along the lines. But yeah, he went into Alamamola because of the Roar, and I know he was gonna go for the Toxic. I go for the Protect to just whittle him down a little bit with the Toxic damage, and then switch into Liepard. As Liepard, I figured would potentially scare him out with the Encore, and I could get some damage off on his team. If he didn't, that wouldn't have been too bad, because he cannot burn me, so that's okay. And fortunately, he does not fall for the Encore lure, or Encore, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to go for? Bluff, the Encore bluff. So yeah, on the following turn he actually switches out. I'm not sure why he switched out. I guess the toxic damage was a little bit too high. So yeah, he switched out into Rooster the Scrafty. He might have predicted me to switch out as well. That's also a potential thing. But my life carries Play Rough, so if I stayed in and went for another knockoff, then his Roselli Berry, which he actually ended up carrying, would have been knocked off, and I could have gone for the Play Rough on the following turn. Don't know if he would have predicted that though, but yeah, that's a whole other story. But I ended up sacking off my Mamoswine to the Scrafty as he went for the rest. Like I said, I expect him to potentially be an Assault Vest variant, but I know now that he's just a specially defensive variant. And instead of going for the Aerodactyl switch, because I do not carry the Aerial Ace, he probably now knows that I do not carry the Aerial Ace, as I went into Vaporeon to check the bulk up Scrafty set. I continued to go for the Roars just to whittle down his team, as luckily for me, I switch him out into Charizard, so he gets the 50% damage on him from the Stealth Rocks, which is huge, and also he shows to me that he's not Roost. So that's amazing, because that's the set that I'm expecting him to run, and that means that I can beat him with Vaporeon actually, so that's fantastic. Luckily for me, he didn't get roared out into Nidoking, because that was the only mon on his team that really scared me as a potential mon to deal with this Vaporeon at this point. As I can continuously roar up and heal up, and yeah, just be annoying, being the annoying Vaporeon set that Vaporeon can be. And yeah, luckily for me, he does not go into, he does not get roared into his Nidoking, so I can continuously go for the roars. He does get a sleep turn. Unfortunately for me, he cannot get the Shed Scan activated because of the roar, because that gets activated at the end of the move, and the roar makes it so that he doesn't get the shed skin potential as the move ends with him switching out. So yeah, I think I wrote him. Yeah, I wrote him again into Charizard X, and I go for the Scald on the following turn because now I can actually deal with the Charizard X and can KO him. So Vaporeon did a massive job being able to deal with his Charizard X, which is fantastic. Now he brings in his Nidoking, and I know this is going to be a life or modest Nidoking, very likely. And like I said in my team builder, the max roll for a Nidoking to hit me with is 59.8%, and my I think my Vaporeon was at 58.6%, and the minimum roll was 51%. So the roll to live was heavily in my favor, which is why I risked it right there. And luckily for me, I end up being at 1%, so not dying to the max roll Thunderbolt, meaning that I can basically stall out this. I can win one versus one versus the Nidoking, which is fantastic because this Vaporeon shows that it's basically nothing. He basically cannot deal with it unless he gets a Toxic over me. So that's fantastic. I know he's gonna try to Toxic me with his Ebola, Alamamola. And yeah, my best switch into a Toxic at this point is gonna be either Scolipede, which wouldn't be a bad switch for me, or Latias, because Latias is not that valuable to me, as the set that I'm running cannot deal with Jirachi at all. But knowing that Jirachi is gonna come in because he wants to keep this Alamamola at a decent amount of health because it is his Toxic man, he needs that to beat my Vaporeon. I know that he's gonna switch out and I make the double switch into Scolipede right here, predicting him to go out into Jirachi, and because he is a Spadef Jirachi with Body Slam and likely Iron Head, I can set up substitutes on this because he does not break my substitute, and I can get the paralyzed luck as well. So I went for this substitute right here, knowing that I can easily set up on this with the substitute and the Sword Stance. As he goes out into Alamamola, and that's also fine because this is also meant to set up against Alamamola. And even though he can break my substitute potentially, if he gets the roll with the Waterfall, I can still set up on this because with the black stats, that's my bad. Hopefully you cannot see that, but my screen went black. But with the Waterfall is basically 28% damage max, unless he's attack invested, which he can be, maybe, potentially. But yeah, that allows me, with the black stat, that allows me to basically heal up while setting up as well, so yeah. And he basically at this point knows that he's completely screwed, as I can set up another Sword Dance. I needed these Sword Dances because I wanted to Oko his Scrafty. I mean, at this point it is a 2-hit KO, which is also a good thing because he is asleep at this point, and I guess he can wake up, but the knockoff from a defensive like 0 attack invested Scolipede, I mean Scrafty is not going to KO Scolipede from this range. But yeah, I managed to take down his Nidoking, which is fantastic. And now he brings back in Alamamola, so he's really not sure what he can do versus me. And I just set up another Sword Stance because he cannot do anything versus me. As he goes for the Waterfall, he gets the max roll, unless he's attack infested, which I don't think he is. So he gets the max roll, which is kind of funny, but I can basically sweep his team from this point because his Jirachi gets KO'd by the Earthquake, his Scrafty gets KO'd by the Poison Jab, and his Alamamola, as you can see right there, is not able to lift the Earthquake or the Poison Jab, so it dies. And even if it would have lived, it couldn't have done anything back to me. So yeah, that's gonna be the game, and good game to my opponent Rizipao. Thankfully he didn't bring a few sets that I expected him to bring, and also thankfully his Crafty didn't turn out to be a problem, at least as big of a problem as I expected it to be, because I felt that I underprepared for it a little bit. So yeah, but thankfully this is gonna be the game, and I take a 5-0 victory against Rizipao, meaning that I am actually back in the running for the #1 spot. I'm not gonna spoil you the other games or what my current standing is on the league table. I can reveal to you that Rizipao is still ahead of me because he won his first 2 games both in a 5-0 manner as well. So he is at +5 differential, and I am at +4 differential since I lost with a -2. I won with a +1 versus Uzair, and now I won +5, so I'm at +4. Meaning that I am not first after this week, but I can potentially be second, I can potentially be 5th, I can potentially be 6th, I don't know, man. Who knows? But yeah, I am definitely back in the running for the number 1 spot if I can keep up this win streak. And in my opinion, I faced one of the 2 teams that did really well versus me. So hopefully I can, if I do not underestimate my opponents like I did in week 1, I can potentially pull through and I can potentially go undefeated for the remainder of the season. So that's going to be the goal for now. But yeah, thanks for Rizzy for this game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was kind of stressful because this strategy scared me shitless, honestly. But I'm really happy to see that Scolopy pulled through. And I think that even if my Scolopy didn't pull through somehow, I think my Aerodactyl actually would have done pretty well as well versus his team. So I think my preparation was kind of on point on for this match. So that's also really happy. That's also, it gives me a good feeling, like the feeling of accomplishment. That my preparation was on point. So yeah. But if you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to leave a like, because I really enjoy getting likes on my videos. So do that. Also, if you have any comments on this match, or positive or negative comments, then leave them in the comment section down below, because I love reading comments, and yeah, I love interaction with the people that watch my videos.